Those joining for the first time and don't know about the background of why we are doing this, this is part of our heritage agriculture project that we are doing with funding from the Asia Foundation and in partnership with IGA. So what you're trying to do under this project is, kind of a proposed theory that India should focus on the key commodities such as rice and wheat and sugarcane, but there is also an opportunity in promoting commodities that are lesser known, that are more rooted. We use multiple terms, right? Indigenous and heritage and product of the soil, etc., etc. So the terminology that we are using for this project is heritage because we are looking at a combination of agriculture and culture. So commodities which have relevance in both, and that's why the four commodities that we have chosen. Primarily Mahua, which is an absolute cultural artifact. There is turmeric, there is galgal, and there is jamun. So as a part of this is the first conversation that we are doing with around Mahua with Samarth from Jai Jungle. Jai Jungle is, should I call you a startup or a?
We are basically a farmers producer company. You can call it as a startup, but we are not registered yet. On next year, we'll apply for the same.
So, Jai Jungle is an organization from Chhattisgarh. Previously, I think through our social media posts, etc., we have spoken about and with companies from Jharkhand, that is one from Odisha. But if you have been interested in Mahua, you must have seen Jai Jungle on your social media. So, Samarth, thank you for doing this. I know we have been planning this for around 1.5 months now. But glad to be finally doing this. And I'll not take much time before I start the questions. I think we should just get on with the questions and then have enough time for the audience also to ask a few. So, my first question is, we will talk about opportunities and why Mahua is important and market potential, etc. But to begin with, when did you start Jai Jungle, and why? As you said, you are a farmer producer company. So why that format? And if you want to touch upon that also, that what are the key challenges of building a brand or a company around Mahua?
First of all, thank you very much for inviting me to talk. And yes, it's delayed because it was Mahua season and whole team was busy. So finding a time was a little bit difficult. Coming back to question you asked, when we started Jai Jungle and why this format. So when I came back to India like 13, 14 years back, I started with farming, natural farming, and then we went to chemical-free farming because our is a very hilly landscape. Land holdings are very small. So within a year or two, I realized that using that, just the agriculture or farming, we cannot, bring a big sort of change. Then I went to working in the part of small processing of like tamarind was there. Harra and Bahra is very good in our region. Chironji is good in our region. But that was also on, you can say, very small trial skills. As I was also new, so I started a firm, Vedic Vatika, that's a registered startup. There I worked with, conversion of plastic to diesel, and then we did consultancy on waste management, city planning, development, forest plantations. Then we also worked with wildlife and all. Interestingly, what happened during COVID, because my dad also owns a petrol pump. So we had to keep the pump open, and there was a very high shortage of sanitizer at that time, but we had to operate somehow. So, being from a science background, and I was as a scientist earlier, where I was working in Belgium. So I thought because Mahua is very well known for liquor, everybody knows just as a liquor. And for sanitizer, we needed, like 83, 84% plus ethanol in that. So I thought, why not convert this liquor into a sanitizer? So that will be a good thing, and we can use also. So that's how our journey with Mahua started, and I think, the first one to make a sanitizer from Mahua. And then because there was very, almost zero movement of, goods and machineries. So we had to develop all the plant and machineries in-house in a very small town. So we made a small trial scale sanitizer production unit of 100 liters. Then we expanded it to 1,000 liter per day. And to run that also, because everything was shut down, so we cannot hire employees or no one can, move around easily. So what we did with the district government, that we planned that in a forest Bandhan Kendra. And in Forest Bandhan Kendra, VDVK is also, we know we have one samitis are there, SHGs are there. So we started with the women who were working with us for saving the wildlife and protecting forest fire. So जो आग लग जाते बुझाने के लिए जो there was a team, so we started working with that. And within a month, I mean, I was literally surprised because I mean the time it take, because we start working in like 6 a.m. in the morning and work till like 8 or 9 p.m. in the evening, because everything was new for us, and handling that high quality, I mean, alcohol, I mean, it's very dangerous. So, but surprisingly, within a month or two, they the women, all of them, they learned the process very quickly. I mean, most of the time you can imagine, being from a tribal region, they were even scared to, sort of turn on the electrical switches. But they were operating whole of the plant very in very proficient manner. And again, not just the plant. I mean, the way we used to bottle, the way we standardize. I mean, this much content of alcohol will be there. These are the precautions. This is the quality of Mahua that we'll use. We have to brew liquor first, and they were the one, I mean, who used to brew liquor in home every day, because our initial raw material was just the desi liquor that we, it's used to brew. So then my confidence in the, I mean, SHG groups, or we can say women on our region, I mean, it changed way. I mean, you can say drastically it was changed. And because it was almost like 6 years or 7 years, then after my coming back, so I had worked individually. I had worked with the uh, administration. I had worked with the local, I mean, groups of youth. I had worked with the group of various SHGs also. Like I said, we had tamarind processing, cashew processing also. So what I realized, that single SHG, if the single SHG is working or a single FPO is working, the support from the government or the things that we can manage from all of the different programs, it becomes a little bit tricky, especially for a SHG or a VDVK, any group that is working with the Bandhan Kendra. So then we discussed this with the district administration also. We had, I mean, I had very good friends. At that time, it was, I think Dr. Kavre was there, or yeah, he was the collector. So we generally used to discuss this, sir, how we should go ahead, how to make, because for government also to fund or to allocate a building to a single SHG or single forest group, I mean, it becomes tricky because there are a lot of groups. So I mean, they are also, I mean, reluctant to support just one group. So then the easiest way we thought was making the farmer producer company, and taking in all of the SHGs, all of the members, those who want to be a member or who doesn't want to be a member, but they are helping us. So then we started with the farmer producer company. And for sanitizer thing, what I want to mention is the group, I mean, they did a business of more than 1.5 crore. And they were also, I mean, I think, what you can say, facilitated by the President of India at that time. So that was also a very boost for us, and it helped our way of working. I mean, the district realized that, yeah, these models can work. So then we started, that was a part of how we, Mahua, it come to us. Then what happened? Mahua Laddu is very famous, especially in Chhattisgarh. If you go, Mahua Laddu is very famous everywhere, not just the our one. Our one is the new product, but locally it's being made everywhere. I mean, since ages. But the issue was, there was a government official, I won't name, just for the sake. He told me that, yeah, wherever I eat Mahua Laddu, first thing is everywhere the taste is different, and it's very rare that you won't find part of, you can say, stone or soil. Without stone or soil, you cannot find a Mahua Laddu. So yeah, why? I mean, why it's the thing? So then I started looking at the food point of view, and at that time, fortunately, the collector was in Jashpur. He was Dr. Ravi Mittal. He was also a doctor. Then he was an IAS, and a very good mentor for us also. So he shared the nutrition data and few of the studies, because he knew how to pinch. Because I was working with the environment part and you can say waste management part actively at that time. I was not in the food part like we are now. So when we realized that, nutritionally and medicinally, Mahua is none less than, we can say, turmeric. जैसे अभी हल्दी का हमारे यहाँ पे we praise turmeric. It's same with Mahua, and Mahua being uh, part of every household, not in just our region, across Chhattisgarh, Odisha, Jharkhand, few part of MP, in South also. So I was literally surprised that why, I mean, it was not a part of food anymore. So that's how we started with Mahua, and Jai Jungle was formed 6 years back. Yeah.
One of the things that we saw when we went to Jharkhand was it is a Mahua growing area, but most of in fact, all of the startups that we spoke with, or the companies which were working in food grade Mahua, they said somehow the local population, which has been used to Mahua for centuries, had the highest amount of resistance to consuming it because they saw it as a stigmatized product, etc. But do you see a difference in Chhattisgarh?
Uh, you can say there is with the younger generation, because they have seen, families getting devastated or, destroyed just because of the Mahua liquor. But
Mhm.
when we tell them that there is one or two of our product that we'll discuss later that we have inspired from actual food part. I mean, there is one Mahua Rab you must have heard because your
Yeah,
team is
yeah.
with the Mahua. So nectar is just a scientifically refined product made out of that. There is one more product like Vanyaprash. That is another very good sweet made by the Adivasi Pahadi Korwa tribe. It's called Putka. So we have just refined that and standardized that. So when we, tell them scientifically that it's written, there are research papers, it is very beneficial. And when we explain to them, or even not explain, in general discussion, it happens. Like when we start discussing with a, yeah, Pale, what you used to eat. So everyone, not of the in the younger generation, like 30s, 40s, they cannot say. But beyond 60s, everyone whom you will talk, who is in the Mahua region, they will tell, yes, we used to eat Mahua lata, Mahua roti. There is a putka was there. Mahua boiled with lata is like sal seed or tamarind seeds, and that you used to, give them energy for full day. And then when we relate, like now, because everyone has stopped using Mahua, you can see a very high rate of malnutrition in our region, especially lack of iron. So somehow they, then start relating, yes, that we did have stopped eating, and that was the reason. And only reason they stopped was because look, Mahua, first they need to collect in food grade format. Second, because earlier there was no food security sort of thing. So Mahua was natural. So they used to eat with sal grain of dal not broken. They used to boil and they used to make it. So when we discuss with them ki this was the part of food culture, and what you are seeing is just because for one of the thing what we think is has played a significant role in removing Mahua from the food was the PDS system. I'm not blaming the distribution of grains and all, but because they now have rice, so they don't think कि यार हमको ये खाना चाहिए. And again, what happened was the packed food item started moving very fast. I mean, FMCG in India, like chips, kurkure, and etc. etc. So even Mahua was used as a very good snacking item, just stayed in the ghee or oil. So it's very good snack like peanut we used to eat. But now, because younger generation have not seen Mahua as a food part, and there are very less elders who tell them that yeah, we used to eat, and it was more than a food. I mean, it saved them from various diseases. It helps in kidney and liver functions also. So they do realize, and they do then accept. Yeah, initially there is reluctance from them. That is very true.
So, in fact, we are looking at both the stakeholders, one being the consumers and second being the government, because we thought, there has to be acceptance, but that also has to be, and so that's why we are also studying policy in different states. That even if, let's say, there is more acceptance, even if there is more demand, do we have a production ecosystem in place which supports that kind of growth? And in this, we went to Odisha. Odisha is now doing a small POC in one of the districts. So I think the regulation for the entire state remains still very restrictive, but they have given a kind of a break to one of the districts where they're doing a POC. Jharkhand and Chhattisgarh are still, I think, are considered the most progressive. But in this, I mean, what has the role, especially in your, because I think you are probably the most prominent uh, Mahua brand out of Chhattisgarh.
Yeah.
So what has the role of the government been in this? Because you said DM multiple times. And not just for you, I think, do you think policy-wise, Chhattisgarh can be studied as a progressive state?
Yes, so there is, in two way I would like to explain. First, for the acceptance of Mahua, when we say, look, when we initially what I thought, okay, Mahua should be, government should say it's very good for health. I mean, it is. There should be more studies, and we should, start giving Mahua to even local people. Like in Anganwadis, we are studying especially for malnutrition and all. So, but now what we have realized and our team has realized is just bringing food grade mahua, if I give it to you and if I ask you to eat, ki bhai aap isko khao. So if you are comparing with the consumer demand or like in the cities, if we want people to use mahua, just bringing the food grade mahua won't help. They need ease of eating. Like we have to provide them with the solutions. Same thing we experienced with our products also that maybe we'll discuss later. So we have to figure out how to make mahua easy to consume for all age groups. Like if I say someone who has a very busy life that soak mahua overnight and then use water and chew it, I mean he will do for a day or two or a week, but every day it's not possible. So we need to give them in that way. For kids of age group like 2 or 3, if you want to tell parents that it's very good for hemoglobin, but eat it. So we have to provide them in a format that can be eaten. So that's what we realized. And yeah, government thing is like you also said that I took name many times, and we are supported by a government. So in Chhattisgarh, it's very liberal, especially when our brand is Connect. We work under the brand name Jashpure also. So Jashpure is like we made a district brand Jashpure because our district is Jashpur, and the vision behind that brand that was also started with Dr. Ravi Mittal. The issue with SHG is that I discussed earlier, like single SHG cannot do everything. Like when you see our products or the quality standards that we maintain, that type of quality needs infrastructure and a lot of training. Like our members are trained since last 6 years. Every year, I mean, 1 or 2 uh, training sessions we arrange for them at like IIT or NIFTEM or the bigger places, or we visit them, make them visit big food factories just to see how how the work environment is, because when working people are from a small region, or especially we can say in our case it's only the tribal women, the work ethics or work culture, I mean they have not been even exposed to, not even in the films or TVs. So like why to here wear the hand gloves, why you have to trim the nails, why head cap is very important, why you have to wear mask while preparing laddus, or why the temperature meter is required when we are processing. Very funny thing happened like 4 years back when we started our experiments with Mahua Laddu and Mahua, what you say, Pachak we made. Like because the temperature, it changes the viscosity. So the syrup viscosity was changing. And when we used to tell them like, yeah, okay, now temperature is this much, you have to mention, and then remove it from the gas. So, I mean, they said they are रोज हम घर में खाना बनाते हैं. So why you are telling us to check the temperature every time? So that type of mindset changed with the training, and here government played a very big role. The district government, they supported us because sending 5 or 6 people to institute like NIFTEM being National Institute of Food Technology only. We do have MOU with them also. Then Indian Institute of Millet Research is there. So when we send them, there is expenses, traveling expenses, the staying expenses, and all. So we did get very good support from the district administration, and all was done because like the policy is not as flexible in Chhattisgarh also. We are trying to improve, especially with the Mahua. But Jashpur being a district brand, and luckily we have CM from our district only. So for Jashpur, there was a little bit of exception and a little bit of extra help from the government to develop the product, to test the Mahua, because storing Mahua, other than, I mean, tribal, you cannot even distill the Mahua. But we were distilling in the Vandhan Kendra. So we try to find out a way that how the policies without disturbing the current regulations, how we can still experiment and work. And we got a very good support from administration and the state government also, like for regarding the product, regarding the testings also. And now also we have pitched the Mahua to be in the part of food chain and in the part of Anganwadi. Let's see. I mean, because policies, I mean, it takes time. Because medicinally, not just us, there are various groups working with Mahua. Obviously, you must have also interacted
Yeah.
with them, and all are somehow claiming that yes, medicinally it's very rich. We do have some initial studies going on, but as because it's with the government, so we'll disclose that only when the project is over. I hope in Chhattisgarh very soon we'll have a very good policy around Mahua, banning the liquor part, obviously, but accepting it as a food. Also, one more challenge I would like to say with Mahua is that Mahua is not mentioned anywhere, like my colleague with whom we initially started. Razia, you must have heard the name Bastar Foods. Uh, she,
Yes,
she,
I
she,
have.
told, she told me, I think 2 or 3 months back, that she was trying to export, and interestingly, Mahua is used as a food or can be used as a food item. It's not mentioned anywhere by the government. So they were
Mhm.
facing a challenge. We have just tried to you can say send our products with our friend circle just to have a feedback. So we have not explored that angle yet. So I don't know if there is a problem or not. But she was saying that neither the any food body has said that yeah it's safe to eat, nor it has mentioned anywhere. So maybe if you can check that if I mean this
Yeah,
issue.
yeah, yeah. In fact, I just read a news. I mean, I think the Buster Food website has since been down, but I think that was a news item which said they have sent a consignment to either France or UK, yet to confirm. So I'd like to speak with them.
Earlier they did this
Uh,
year. I am not in
yeah.
touch. I'll just ask and let you know. Yeah.
Yeah, in fact, one of the requests that we got, because we are also taking policy recommendations, because this is
Mm-hmm.
a policy paper at the end of the day, and
Mm-hmm.
this will go to multiple governments. So one of the inputs that we, in fact, a request that we got from the other Mahua producers is somehow that Department of Science and Technology comes up with a commodity calendar every year.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And they said it actually lists the chemical composition, the physical benefits of the commodity. And so a few startups said, so far we are the ones who have been testing Mahua in a lab and sending our reports. So once the government puts it, any government body or relevant government body puts it out in a report saying Mahua has these properties, then it takes the onus or the criticality of answering that are we
Mm-hmm.
setting right data, is it a right test, is the lab verified, etc. So that takes the pain of proving that from us.
Yes,
So
in that we are working with the NIFTM in a very closely. Like there is one professor, Dr. Prasanna. He is a professor of mechanical side, but he is very helping us regarding the project also. Very soon we'll have 3 or 4 major papers highlighting the nutrition value, comparison of how the processing changes. It's underway. So hopefully, I mean, this point will be very clear, because if there is a name of National Institute of Food Science and Technology, so
yeah.
because alone also we try to publish paper, but then I also stopped my team, because just being a company in India, I mean you don't have that much respect in the scientific field until unless there is a university or a college or a research institute. And another thing in specifically in this part regarding the nutrition thing and acceptance, we are working like I told you, we are doing some ground test also. So very soon, hopefully with the forest department, we will have a very detailed research project on Mahua, especially from Ayurvedic and medicinal point of view. I'm not sure. I mean, it will be done, but we are very hopeful that it will be done. We have proposed studies in few of the areas where we have seen very good response from our customer side. Like there
Mhm.
are few professors from IIT Roorkee and IIT Kanpur who are using few of our products for few specific ailments, and they have given us very good results. So with their recommendation only, we have proposed this to the government. And when we propose things from just an FPO, FPC side, SHG side, there is a little less weight. And when the professors are there, IT name is there. I mean, so it's being usually heard. So we are hopeful that we will work on that also. But yes, uh, any of the government institute, be it NIFTM, be it IMR or anyone, even DST can work in that. A basic study is very must. I mean, last paper that I read with Mahua was, I have not checked in last 2, 3 months, but before that was use of Mahua as a datul and
Yeah.
for infection in the bacteria in the mouth, and it was working exceptionally well than the current prescribed medicine. And this study was done somewhere near Jamshedpur. There is a dental college in Jharkhand. And that was the paper of, I think, 2023 or 24. But after that, I have not seen any new kind of study. So study is required, and I would like to if suggest to any of the viewer who are in like MTech or doing doctorate or postdoc, or if any professors are there, that at least I mean, look, what we need in India is research papers. Ultimately, the science student they need research papers. So Mahua is very unexplored till now. Even basic studies will get good papers in good ranking journals. So I would request any students who are interested that do start working on Mahua. It will help not just us, but it will help the community also. And if anyone need any suggestion or guidance, I am always available. So I will be happy to assist in that case. Yeah.
Sure, sure. I think I'll come back to you on this after the call because we are also in the report trying to outline that what kind of studies. So one of the requests was to also look at the varietals of Mahua. So they're like so far we are only talking about Mahua as a single commodity, which it is not. So how
Yeah.
many varietals of Mahua are there? And also because I mean I don't think we have that kind of data yet in terms
Yes.
of sugar content, in terms of size, in terms of what region have what kind of mahua. So that subdivision
Mhm.
has not been done.
Yeah.
So I mean that's a request that we are putting in the paper. But as you said, if it can also be medicinal properties, etc. So once we have a clear outline of what outcomes we need, and who are the potential bodies for those kind of research that we can partner with. Samarth, I think, that leads to me, this is not a question that we agreed on, but I want to ask you this. When we were talking to a lot of retailers, uh, I mean, not Moha producers, but generic retailers who are into indigenous brands or products. And we said, how is it that a California almond or an Australian lamb finds it much easier to kind of go through supermarkets in Delhi or Bombay than our own produce? Saffron. So many people said Pampur saffron is one brand which has actually done it well. But apart from that, why can't we have? And this came from one of the retailers who recently got funded. That why can't we have a Himalayan Nuts Association? Why don't we have a transnational, a national Mahua association? So, there are a lot of budding startups right now, but just to keep these demands forth. So do you think a platform like that makes sense?
Yes, definitely not just from marketing point of view, but there are a lot of things like when we say food grade, we have our own standard, right? When a certain company says food grade, I mean, few of the companies I know very well, you must also know. So they have their own standard. When government was purchasing food grade, they had, their testing standards and all. So what that makes is that the product quality is not universal. That is the first challenge when we, go to, so building a brand around like a Mahua as a superfood that we say Mahua as a superfood, we are trying to promote in that way. So it's not just our Mahua, but Mahua as a food, right? So there should be a body that should not only see from a marketing point of view, that body should also see what are the nutritional things. Like you said, there are various species of mahua. Like there are a lot of various types of mahua we have seen. A smaller
Yeah.
one, bigger one with a very high sweet content, one with little bit more fiber. There is one more group who is doing better study in that part of mahua than us. We are basically focusing on medicinal and food. That is also one thing that standardization is required. Then standard protocols so that we can fix the pricing, because now the pricing is a major player, especially when we see Mahua, and this is also a concern raised by many, that when Mahua will start getting name like Makhana, no one used to know 5 years back. Now people are getting to know it. Same thing, people are saying, okay, it will happen with Mahua. But Makhana farmers are not getting the price, you also know. I mean, at the ground, it's uh, not that much that we are seeing in the retail, like 1,500, 1,600. So how it's not a farming thing that you and I can grow. So because it's a forest produce, a strict control can be implemented, and it can actually benefit the forest people who own the land or who own the collector harvest part. So to govern that also, I mean, a single body is required. Maybe it will be the forest one or whatever the government will decide. But yes, a body is very much required, and especially to make a brand, not only in just India. Look, in India, the issue is we have a very broad market type. I mean, काजू जो बिकते हैं वो 200 रुपए 300 रुपए के भी बिकते हैं और 3,000 के भी बिकते हैं. So for smaller companies to make a big brand like a famous almond brand or so, we'll need a funding and very big scale. But yeah, I mean, slowly it can be done. But for standardization of the products, I mean, it's needed.
Yeah, I think here we need, as you said, both processes and machinery and tools. In the different geographies that we went to, I think so far the most dramatic intervention that we have seen is the collection nets. And that is probably, I mean, there is no technology, there is no science in it. It's just a basic net. But that is the intervention that everybody said, both the collectors and the company said, this has changed everybody's life. Immediately turned grade into food grade Mahua, etc. But beyond that, I know when we sent you the question, you also said the solar dryer. In Jharkhand, we met this company called Open Farm, which is now filing a patent for a solar dryer. And they said, because everybody else was like, the solar dryers that work on a tomato or a berry, etc., do not work on Mahua. And so far, there has not been a single successful instance of a solar dryer working. So apart from these two, I mean, should we, that there is the net and there is the need for a solar dryer. But is there a longer wish list of tools and technologies that you would like to see?
Look, from tools and technology, we may not be the right one to comment, because what we are trying to do is we are trying to bring Mahua in its very traditional form. So we are trying to keep the processing also to very minimum machine based, because first when a produce or when a product is made just in the way that it's being used to make 2,000 3,000 years back or 200 300 years back, I mean I'm not able to explain, but there's a very big difference in the product quality and how it affects your body. Scientifically saying, it will be wrong to say like processed mahua, but there are few things beyond science also that maybe we can, connect some other time and discuss. So what we are trying to do is we are trying to keep the process minimum so that we can, employ maximum amount of women or tribal people who owns the mahua. I know it keeps the product pricing high, but people are willing to pay, that we have seen for our product. So we have not thought that much in the part of Mahua, but being from a science background and I do experiments a lot with the products, yes. Dehydration setup is the critical one that needs to be studied. And not just a solar dryer is just a term because the product was available. So people are trying. We have also solar tunnel dryer, a basic tray dryer we are doing. But the issue is Mahua absorbs moisture very quickly. You dehydrate it, there is inflow of air, it will absorb moisture. Like if you do not dehydrate it below a certain moisture level that I will not disclose here. I mean, it's part of our R&D team. But if it's not dehydrated below that, if you keep a mahua like with the 20-30% moisture here, I don't have the table. I will ask my team to bring. It will gain moisture very rapidly, like within 2 or 3 or 4 hours, and it will become soggy again. So dehydrating that in open air at the time of collection, that is the biggest challenge. Net solves 10% of the problem when we work in the ground, because yeah, it's collected. But next challenge is to dehydrate it within like 3 or 4 or 5 days, depending on the temperature. If we don't dehydrate them to below like 40 degree moisture level, it will start fermenting, because it's a juice and the temperature at that time is around more than like 30 for sure, 30, 34, 37. In few of our part, lower region in our district, temperature is around 40 to 43 also. So initially what we tried, we should, transport the Mahua in cold vans and then dehydrate in big solar dryers and all. But transportation, I mean, it crushes the flour and it brings out the juice, and in 30-35 degree it will start fermenting. So it gets sour. So biggest challenge was not the collection. When we talk about food grade Mahua, yes, it solves a very big problem, especially the labor problem. The margin, the price, I mean, वो तो definitely मतलब magically solve करता है. But next challenge that we are facing is the dehydration. And that's a bigger issue because now the weather pattern is changing a lot since 5 years. I mean, there is a drastic rain. There are, storm, dust storms every time at that collection part. And especially the rain, because Mahua, I mean, it's a bulky thing, like 70%, you can say. We dehydrate it to below 20 in our case. So we need to evaporate like 60-70% of the weight. And you cannot stack it. You have to spread it in a single layer. So that's the biggest challenge from our point, and that we would like to say. Second is removing the stamen from the part. We are working with the OU80 in that part. We do have a prototype. There are few improvements that we are working with the NIFTEM. So fully by this year end, we will have two good machines for that also. Because until unless the stamen are removed in good quality, and Mahua is not that much edible. So there are inner part that you must know in the flora. So there. Otherwise, the processing, I mean, it's like any food item. Making Mahua laddu or making Mahua products is nothing new. I mean, a lot of people come every month to us also for consultancy. Ki, what machines is needed, what thing is. So what we used to tell them ki, Mahua is just a commodity. जैसे आप good use कर रहे हो, or you are using cashew. So just feel free and experiment with Mahua. So with any other food processing machineries, you can do wonders with Mahua. And we are using just the traditional methods like chakki. We have the pounding machines, silvatta. We have earthen pots to cook them, to steam them. So in making them into useful food items, I don't think so much intervention is needed because technology is very well developed for even for the juices extract. There are 2 or 3 companies who are trying to make soda drink with Mahua. I don't know how far they have succeeded, but in our list it was not there, so we are not collaborated at that time. Few are trying with tea and coffees also, but we are still stuck with the chocolate thing. So we have not ventured into that part. So I mean, it's easy to integrate. So just if the dehydration problem is solved, I think another question of yours was that, do we have that scale? I mean, it's not available. हो पाएगा? Yes, definitely the product produces there. Collection part also people are learning. They are now accepting use the collection nets. But dehydration, we also face challenge this year also, and for sure next year we need to increase the quantity a lot. So we will require. So we are facing a big challenge in dehydration.
Okay. So, I mean, I think I have one last question before I open it for the audience. When we talk about bulk buyers, because we have been talking about volume a lot, and I think so far the experiments, all the passionate startup founders that we have spoken with in the commodity, brilliant work, but I think the volume is not there yet. And we said, bulk buyers, whether they are domestic, hotels and restaurants, or export, both will need. I mean, I don't think we will see massive volumes moving in either the HoReCa sector or in export sector very soon. It will take at least a couple of years. So in both of these, I mean, I think I'm not too sure if you have approached hotels and restaurants because your product, if you're not, I think what many told us that one of the things that has flown off the shelves is the Mahua syrup, the Mahua nectar.
Yeah.
But beyond that, I mean, hotels and restaurants have not exactly been very open to experimenting with Mahua. And second, I don't think we have done the value chain analysis yet in terms of what can be, in what form should we export Mahua, and who tells that story, because export is not happening. A container every second year might happen, but if you want to do that on a consistent and volume basis, it needs more than just that. It's your views here.
I don't think so. A container in every 2 years is also happening right now. The issue is just one, because we have forgotten how to eat it. First thing. So and hotels and restaurant, when you go, I mean, like for 5 star, 3 star, 7 star, yes, people may try. I mean, because I mean they are used to trying new things. They may try, but in general restaurants and places where common man eat, I mean, if he is not known to the flavor or if he is not known to the taste, he won't eat it. I mean, it is in the WFI also, World Food India also, there are a few companies who discuss with us like why you are not trying to sell it to the restaurant, the flowers and all. I said first thing is ki we'll have to introduce Mahua because no one, rarely people know. If you take talk about the country as a whole, not the central part of India, many people have, most of them like 100 out of 100, 80 have not known Mahua, have not seen Mahua in cities. I'm saying because we constantly visit like places like World Food India or such type of things that revolve around food. So people are sure what Mahua is first. Second, who know Mahua? I mean, who have roots in Bihar or who have migrated from UP, from Chhattisgarh, from MP side, they just know Mahua as a liquor. So first of all, general audience, I mean, who are the consumer? Consumer are from tier 3, tier 2, tier 1 cities. वही लोग हमारे मेजर कंज्यूमर है होटल्स में, रेस्टोरेंट्स में और इन इवन इन द पैकेज फूड. दे डोंट नो फर्स्ट महुआ है क्या. सेकंड, जो जानते हैं दे ओनली सी महुआ एज ए लिकर because since they are born or since their parents are born, they have not seen mahua as a food. So before talking about export or before thinking that it will go to restaurant and all, like I said earlier, that we have to make mahua presentable in the format that it can be consumed and it can be experienced. We do have tried because look, we are also a company and it's my responsibility in FPC to see how our products are going. So we do try whatever Mahua product is available with any of the brands. We do order, we do benchmark with that. I mean, that's the standard process in any of the company you go in the food. Another thing what I have found ki Mahua ke naam pe, because I mean tribals are associated. There are a lot of companies, not the bigger companies or the startup I'm saying, but the smaller one. Like even if we talk from our region, there is one SHG who is trying to sell. They don't have scientific knowledge or background like ours. So what they do is they just remove the stem from Mahua and they sell. They don't grade it. They don't grade it as per color, as per size, or they don't pass it from the magnet like a metal piece can be there. So what happens when a consumer buy Mahua from random company? Like Mahua is Mahua. Jai Jungle Mahua is for a consumer. It's not कि Jai Jungle का Mahua अलग है and there is very good Rishabh's company Wild Harvest है. उसका Mahua अलग है. When you will buy, you will just see as a Mahua flower. And when you will eat and you will see our taste is not good or it's not hygienic. I mean, it's not clean properly. So, I mean, the belief from the product, it gets, or say we can say we start on a wrong foot. So before we are talking about, export or going to the hotels and all, or consumer started buying Mahua. Again, the intervention from the government or regulation sort of thing, like cashew, I know that there's a naming in the cashew, kitna oil content hai. Yeah, this much processing is there. Tea also, there are some regulations. So, कुछ ऐसा होना चाहिए. महुआ नीड समथिंग लाइक दैट कि एटलीस्ट अगर आप फूड ग्रेड बोल रहे हैं तो ये टेस्ट एटलीस्ट आपके पास रिपोर्ट्स होने चाहिए दैट इट इज सेफ और नॉट, बैक्टीरियल कंटेंट है कि नहीं है उसमें. सो ये रेगुलेशंस अभी तक अवेलेबल नहीं है. So that is the first thing. Second thing is hotel or restaurant will sell only when people know about it, or they can create something wonderful from that point of view. So from our point of view, there are two things that can be done. First is when we look, because Mahua is already badnaam. Those who know and those who don't know, they don't know. So we have to start very fresh ki Mahua hai kya. When we just go, it's like a resin, so it will be like diminishing mahua because mahua is way higher than kishmish, especially nutritionally. अगर हम बात करें, हम मेडिकल पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से बात करें, सो हमको इसको भी देखना होगा कि what nutritional benefit it is bringing to the table. और उसको जब हम साथ में लेके जाएंगे, that has helped Jai Jungle a lot when we talk about products, not just the syrup, but there are a lot of mahua based product, or like even the mahua flour, mahua kata we have made, just to for people who are interested कि हम इसका क्या नया बना सकते हैं, because using flour is very tricky. I mean, we cannot dehydrate and ground mahua and make a flour because it's very sticky because it's sweet. So we have make an atta because a few of the people from Bihar requested कि हम महुआ की पूड़ी खाते थे. So how can we eat them? So I said, यार पूड़ी तो नहीं बेच पाएंगे, but yes, we can try to make a flour out of it. So that's how we designed that. So before going to hotels and restaurants and asking people to consume, we have to bring mahua in good form. Like मखाना आता है तो salted मखाना आएगा, सिका हुआ मखाना आएगा. कैश्यू तो चलो आदमी खा लेता है बिकॉज लॉन्ग हिस्ट्री रही है. बट अगेन कोई भी नया प्रोडक्ट लाइक सीबकथॉर्न आ रहा है तो उसके जूस आ रहे हैं रेडी टू ड्रिंक. दे आर नॉट जस्ट सेलिंग डिहाइड्रेटेड सीबकथॉर्न कि आप ये खा लो. सो वी हैव टू एंड आई ऑल्सो रिक्वेस्ट अदर स्टार्टअप्स ऑल्सो कि हमको थोड़ा सा प्रोडक्ट डाइवर्सिफिकेशन में सोचना पड़ेगा एंड विथ ए स्ट्रॉन्ग बैकिंग बिकॉज इट्स नॉट अ रेगुलर थिंग कि पीपल मतलब लोग जानते हैं लाइक शिलाजीत बिकॉज ऑफ द एडवर्टीजमेंट एवरी अदर कंपनी इज नाउ सेलिंग. एंड आई एम श्योर कोई भी नया स्टार्टअप अच्छे एड्स के साथ 2 दिन में बेचना भी चालू कर देगा बिकॉज पीपल हैव हर्ड इट लाइक ओवर फ्रॉम कोविड time I think it started. Well, they have heard bombard every day, so you see 5 or 10 reels like, okay, this is working. So that thing is not with Mahua. Even like जो हमारे कंज्यूमर भी हैं, even the very learned one, even the professors, even the medical doctors, they say, यार नशा तो नहीं होगा. I mean, that's a very basic question because we have known Mahua from कि खाली दारू बनता है. So ये हमको थोड़ा सा उस पर काम करना पड़ेगा. डेफिनेटली अगर वो होगा सो बिकॉज द रिस्पॉन्स वी आर गेटिंग फॉर आवर प्रोडक्ट्स वी हैव नाउ स्टॉप डूइंग B2B बिकॉज हम फुलफिल नहीं कर पा रहे हैं. वी हैव स्टॉप डूइंग वाइट लेबलिंग ऑल्सो फॉर आवर महुआ प्रोडक्ट्स. नाउ वी आर ट्राइंग टू एक्सपेंड रैपिडली. इसमें सबसे अच्छी बात ये रही कि बिकॉज वी हैव ट्राई टू मेक अवर प्रोडक्ट की यार अगर बच्चे नहीं खा पा रहे हैं, हमारे बच्चे गांव के बच्चे मतलब आई डू हैव 2 kids, one is 5 years, one is 9 years now. अगर वो एक्सेप्ट नहीं कर रहे हैं प्रोडक्ट वी शुड नॉट ब्रिंग इट टू द मार्केट. सो अगर टेस्ट है प्रोडक्ट में डेफिनेटली goes off the shelf very fast and people are recommending our products to their friends and relatives because when we see the data cluster from where we are getting the orders and repeat orders is there. And what I believe ki because we have kept the process and the way we make very natural like it was earlier, we have not mechanized that much. So medicinally also it's helping a lot of people and that's why I mean we are seeing the uptrend because spending like 3 or 4,000 rupees per day in ads you cannot get that much thing because 2,000 3,000 5,000 very small amount in current day, but we are working in that much amount only till now and we are getting very nice results. So awareness is required but yeah mahua should be a beautiful thing. I mean it should not कि आप खाओ और बोले यार कि SHG बनाया है या कोई मेडिसिन है. It should be कि हाँ मैं खाऊं तो दोबारा लेके खाऊं. I will send you a few of our good selling products and you will also appreciate the taste कि यार it's tasty and you would like to gift. तो हमने चालू भी ऐसे ही किया था. It's of the your question but because other people या जो interested होंगे क्योंकि कई बार हमारे जो चैट्स में भी आता है उसमें फेसबुक में भी और इंस्टा में भी कि यार हमको भी चालू करना है कैसे करें. सो यूजुअली उतना टाइम नहीं होता कि वी कैन एक्सप्लेन टू ऑल बट है कि यार आपको ऐसा बनाओ कि लोग दोबारा खाएं. कुछ भी बन सकता है. अचार बनता है. अभी एक कस्टमर की रिक्वेस्ट है मुरब्बा की सो आवर टीम इज डेवलपिंग मुरब्बा ऑल्सो फ्रॉम महुआ. सो अचार भी बिकता है, आटा भी बिकता है, मुरब्बा है, चटनी है, बहुत सारी चीजें जो बिक सकती है बट हाँ स्वाद आप बनाओगे तो चीजें बिकेंगी. या
Thank you so much. I think I can talk for another hour, but any audience questions, and then we'll come back.
या
You can raise your hand, turn your camera on, not on, or ask in chat.
Hello. Hi.
Hey.
Yeah, I was just traveling, and yeah, it was very nice presenting about his experience, and I really enjoyed the whole session. And I have few questions on initially when you were saying like about the journals which we are writing, right? All the for filing the patent and all. Why that perception is that the you need to have some food related organization or university tag in that. What I know from my experience that this is one of the pain from our end. I mean, so one of the pain which I found about like similar to this Mahua, there is like Gore gram. We are like 80 to 90% exporter of in terms of raw material, but we are not doing any kind of value addition. So we have the reason was like, around 10 to 15,000 journals are there in globally, and in our share is not even 0.1%. So this was something I heard like 10, 15 years back, and that drives me that this is the biggest pain, because that Gorgram is also used in cracking of petroleum, and Italian or European companies, US companies are actually getting raw material from our northwestern region, or from the Pakistan and all those areas, and they're making it like 10x and 15x by doing value addition. But why do we need that university as a in our patent thing? Is it cannot be done by the together with all the stakeholders, making it more efficient? Yeah, that's the question.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah,
So,
thank you.
yeah. So the thing is, there are two things that you talked. I mean, it's very good to
Yeah,
know about your work and all. I
yeah,
also had few of the papers in very good high-ranking journals like eight or nine when I was
right.
working there.
Yes,
But
yes,
in India,
yes.
the research is totally institutionalized. I mean, there are very few private players. First, the issue is. Second, I mean, it's very sad to say, I should not say openly, but the way our journals, I mean, India journals are seen and the content they are publishing, it's not up to the mark, especially in scientific community. And in food, I'm very new. It's just been 5, 6 years. I have not tried to send any paper individually till now. But earlier, when I was from the scientific part, when I was working with the plastic to petroleum and other few of the waste uh, thing, what I found that when we approach this journal with an individual company or individual startup tag, they don't even listen. I mean, there is no credibility. They won't even consider your journal without a backing. In India, in research, this is an issue, and most of people will accept that unless you have a good professor or good institute, the research papers, the editors, they won't entertain you. And when I thought that our work is, I mean, at par to the international level, why we should try for the Indian one. So then how then we collaborated with the NIFTAM and other food institute, and luckily we found some good professors who share the same passion with us. So we are working in bringing the data in series now, like 3 or 4 or 5 papers in the series we'll have. But in India, yeah, we do have a problem that even if you publish in a few of the like not that much high ranking journals, it doesn't hold any value. Internationally, it doesn't hold any value. Yeah. And
So it
patent,
has to do with that. It has to do with the domain. Like I saw, like if you have some journals on quantum, and the probability of that getting, getting you get that patent faster in 2 months. But
yeah.
for the agro, you have to wait for 1 2 year.
Yes, in patent, what
So
happened, I will
like is
share
that
my experience. It will take like only 2 minutes. Pardon me if it's getting very long. I came back because I was against a patent. We developed few technology there, and it was patented by some company because they are funding the lab heavily. So the thing was कि यार जब लोगों को benefit नहीं मिलेगा, why should I work? I had Dr. Kalam had very good influence on me. I met him 3 times, so that part was there. So we came back. I came back and started working. This sanitizer thing, what I was discussing earlier, that we developed sanitizer. I sent it for a patent in India with the government support only. But my patent examiner was from electrical science, and he rejected the patent bluntly. I asked them humbly in what you say, when we appeal again against the rejection, we can appeal once, I think. So I specifically wrote that anyone from the bioscience or medical science or somebody from chemistry should be there who should be judging this innovation, not the electrical engineer. But that is the system. So I understand that, yeah, patent for agri and all, because in India we don't still consider this as a new advancing technology or thing that can affect a lot of people. If it has some fancy terms like AI is there, quantum is there, nanotechnology is there. I am from nanotechnology background only, so things are being accepted very fast. But from a food or for a commodity, I mean, there's a mindset that needs to be changed. Hopefully, now there are many startups, youngster like you also. We will change this thing for our country. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. So basically, what I met Mr. Swaroop 10 years back. He also came in a very old series, Surbi in Doordarshan. He is from Unnati Cooperative, based out of Hoshiarpur. I think you must have heard about him. So I met him. I was in psychiatry. So they are doing something on the jamun. I mean, what you're doing in the Mahua, they are so they have all these products in Hoshiarpur, in Talwara, and they're doing it from last 15, 20 years, and I think they're helping lakhs of farmers there. So something like farmers, and you support that system, and but scaling it to a level is a challenge. But yeah, they take one field and they start working on it. But since that individual has some link, they have a good land bank and all those relationships, it makes a lot of difference. So yeah, I'm best of luck to you for to supporting all the things what you're doing. I'm also from Jharkhand, Dhanbad. So
Ah,
I'm a friend of Mr. Avinash. He
mhm.
only invited me to join this. So he's
Sunday,
doing
Vishal, we
something.
are talking to Sunday. We are talking to somebody who has
Yeah,
achieved
I saw
scaling
that.
Java.
I
Yeah,
saw that in LinkedIn. Yeah. It was
yeah.
a nice
So
initiative. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Om,
from
can I quickly
from
ask one question?
collection to exports to making vegan leather bags, all of that, with all of that on Sunday. Anyway,
Wow.
yeah, Avinash,
Yeah,
you have a
yeah.
question.
Yeah, I do have a question. So, Samarth, thank you so much for this enlightening discussion which you just talked about. And you already mentioned about Mr. APJ Abdul Kalam. I also saw that at your backdrop. He was very visible, and I had wanted to
Okay.
ask you that because that is quite inspiring. On the left, it says dream. On the right, you have his caricature. So during this conversation, आपने ये भी बोला the chief minister now comes from your district, and now that district has been very good at Mahua forever. So from a promotion perspective, and you also mentioned about things around makhana, कि how makhana became a superfood, how now it has become like an optics thing, जिसको देखो वही foxnut और makhana खा रहा है. And with the way how our honorable prime minister is promoting some of these things which are very local when he goes on these international trips, and the chief minister is from your district, so do you think some sort of a connection through that, either through Man Ki Baat or through one of these international trips in which the honorable prime minister goes and he gifts someone something which is made out of Mahua that gets international coverage and everything? Why I am trying to say this is because at one point I also caught on to one statement which you said कि अभी international export वाली चीज में this will take at least two years, one or 2 years. In order to shorten that entire time frame, if this entire push from an optical front happens, maybe like a Mahua festival, a Mahua celebration week, something of that sort, can that be a thing which can be explored?
I will not take a name. He's a
Okay.
very senior government person and very good mentor and a brilliant guy, I can say. We did discuss this thing, but what we realized that no company in India now, till now, has that scale or that set of standards. That if someone asks us for like 5 containers of food grade Mahua,
Okay.
we are not sure that next year we will be able to supply. Like this year we had a shortage, but now I mean even I am also open to buy like 10-20,000 kgs, not an issue. We'll process it.
Okay.
The issue is we do our working. I mean we are very good in preparing products, but if our demands scale up 10 times within a month, I'm not sure. I mean how it will go from ground operation point of view. Second is
Okay.
because you cannot buy Mahua from anywhere food grade is like bank is not available. Like
Yes.
World Harvest, I mean they are doing, few and Buster are doing, we are doing, but we have stopped selling in B2B food grade Mahua because processing के लिए नहीं बच रहा है हमारे पास उतना. Although we have
जी.
good stock, but I know how it's growing. So we collectively thought कि we need little bit more time and
Okay.
more players in this, then we can try for that. PM sir also, I mean, visited our stall. We do have images with that. He tried our products
Okay.
also.
Nice.
But what I feel ki, publicity hona is very good from his point of view. I know our scale will go 1000x, literally in one day, 1000x. We may, we may, what you can say, we may fulfill that also. But because Mahua is not just done by us,
Hmm.
there are a lot of players and a lot of people will go to a lot of places. I'm not saying
Okay.
कि
Yes, I get you.
लोग गलत हैं,
Hmm.
but अगर महुआ बाहर जाता है या कुछ अच्छे लोगों के पास जाता है and it's not well processed, it's not well presented, it's not well maintained, so publicity अच्छे होने की जगह नेगेटिव भी जा सकती है. So this discussion were like 6-7 months back. So we because so आपने बताया महुआ हमने भी बताया कि CM सर का ही brand and Just Pure is very near to dear to him. So we did that guy or the team did suggested yeah we should go at least in this scale. बट कलेक्टिवली वी थॉट कि अभी थोड़ा सा वी शुड वेट, बिकॉज अभी रूल्स रेगुलेशंस भी नहीं है,
हाँ।
कंट्रोल बॉडी भी नहीं है, साइंटिफिक स्टडी का कोई उतना बड़ा क्लेम भी नहीं है, कोई इस पे काम भी नहीं कर रहा है. सो देन ओनली वी प्लान कि यार दीज स्टडीज आर नीडेड, दीज थिंग्स आर नीडेड, बट वी डू नो कि क्या क्या करना है, कैसे करना है, बट स्टिल अनफॉर्चुनेटली उतने अच्छे स्केल पे ये काम चालू नहीं हुआ है कि लाइक व्हाट देयर शुड बी अ कमिटी ऑफ अ गुड साइंटिस्ट एंड फूड टेक्नोलॉजिस्ट दैट शुड डिसाइड कि यार दिस आर द वे कि महुआ को फूड ग्रेड हम मानेंगे, ये एलर्जेंस हैं, और दीज आर द
हम्म।
न्यूट्रिशन डेटा, या इसको इन लोगों को नहीं खाना चाहिए. लाइक नो वन इज स्टडी डिस्पाइट बीइंग
ओके।
वन ऑफ द मेजर सोर्स ऑफ इनकम. मतलब तेंदुपत्ता इज सेकंड इन अवर रीजन. महुआ एक्चुअली ड्राइव्स द इकोनॉमी इन रूरल पार्ट. मतलब महुआ का अगर
यस।
खत्म होगा तो कुछ भी नहीं है, बीट जयपुर, बीट बस्तर, एंड आई एम श्योर इन झारखंड ऑल्सो ऐसा होगा, बिकॉज 70-80% ऑफ द इनकम इज फ्रॉम महुआ डायरेक्टली.
राइट।
सो इस पे इतना बड़ा चीज होने के बाद भी स्टडी नहीं होना थोड़ा दुखद भी है, बट बिकॉज एज ए फूड कोई देखता नहीं था, सो शायद नहीं हो पा रहा. बट अब ऐसे प्लेटफॉर्म्स आ रहे हैं, जैसे आज हम इस पे बात कर रहे हैं, 2-4 साल पहले ऐसा था भी नहीं.
अभी नहीं।
हाँ,
जी।
हमने जब चालू किया था तो मैं खाली उस समय रजिया को जानता था. शी वॉज द फर्स्ट वन की जो फूड ग्रेड में काम कर रही थी. इनफैक्ट
हम्म।
वही पहली बार आके द बस्तर फूड आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट,
हम्म।
यार वी कैन डू, बिकॉज वी वेर एक्सप्लोरिंग. यहाँ भी देखो गवर्नमेंट का सपोर्ट मैटर करता है, बिकॉज हमने जब चालू किया ना,
हम्म।
तो वी हैड बैकिंग ऑफ द डिस्ट्रिक्ट एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन कि आप जाओ जहां जहां महुआ पे काम हो रहा है, गो देयर एंड लर्न, see what wrong is happening. So we went to Odisha, Bhubaneswar University, OUAT is there. They have developed few products with Mahua. They have few machineries in there. तो हम 2 दिन गए, काफी अच्छे से वहाँ प्रोफेसर ने बताया. रजिया से हमने मिला, एक दो जगह हम और गए फूड डिपार्टमेंट जहाँ महुआ पे काम नहीं हो रहा था, बट सिमिलर थिंग वो काम कर रहे थे. तो जब थोड़ा बहुत गवर्नमेंट का इंटरवेंशन होता है पॉजिटिव, आई मीन इट हेल्प्स अलॉट, बिकॉज आप देखोगे सिंगल इंडिविजुअल कंपनी या स्टार्टअप के लिए 10 जगह जाना या लोगों को भेजना या कोई टेक्नोलॉजी लेके आना, आई मीन हर एक चीज में कॉस्ट इन्वॉल्व होती है. लाइक सिंगल टेस्ट कॉस्ट मिनिमम 7 to 8 thousand, जितने पैरामीटर हम कराते हैं. सो अगर गवर्नमेंट का सपोर्ट उसमें 50% भी मिल जाता है, सो हम निश्चिंत हो गए. लाइक व्हेन वी डेवलप्ड आवर नेक्टर Mahua syrup, that is one of the best product. Lot of companies are making that. हमने मिनिमम आई वुड से 25 to 30 टेस्ट हमने किए थे उस प्रोडक्ट पर, न्यूट्रिशन टेस्ट. अगर हमारे पास गवर्नमेंट की बैकिंग नहीं होती, आई एम श्योर कि 2 या 3 टेस्ट हम करते मैक्सिमम टू मैक्सिमम, क्योंकि 40-50 हजार रुपए लगाना R&D में, खाली वो भी टेस्टिंग में, नॉट द पार्ट की जो डेवलप हो रहा है. सो इट्स अ बिग थिंग फॉर एन एफपी और ए स्मॉल स्टार्टअप. या
नहीं,
सो थोड़ा सा हम
एब्सोल्युटली।
सेफ जाना चाहते हैं, तो इसीलिए हमने वो ट्राई नहीं किया. किया जा सकता है, एंड इट्स इट्स
जी।
वेरी टेम्पटिंग
ऑफ कोर्स, ऑफ कोर्स।
बट
तो
थोड़ा
नहीं,
सा
मुझे समझ
कोशिश.
में आ गया। मुझे ये जो सप्लाई डिमांड के बीच का क्रेडिबिलिटी गैप वाली चीज जो
या
क्रिएट हो जाएगी, उससे उभर पाना बहुत ही मुश्किल हो जाएगा अगर वो क्रेडिबिलिटी एक बार ड्रेंट हो गया तो।
सो आई मीन भरोसा, मतलब फायदे से ज्यादा लोग महुआ को
हाँ।
मतलब बैड कमोडिटी देखना चालू कर
हाँ,
दें.
एग्जैक्टली। फिर एक बार वो कलंक मतलब वाली चीज लग गई ना एक बार,
हाँ,
फिर देन इट
क्योंकि
बिकम्स
वो
वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू वॉश इट ऑफ।
बिकॉज कमिंग फ्रॉम दैट लेवल, क्योंकि उनका जो इम्पैक्ट है इट्स नॉट जस्ट इन इंडिया, आई मीन
हाँ, इट इज ग्लोबल,
तुरंत
इट्स अ
बदल जाएगा.
फेनोमेना। हाँ।
या सो वो उतना बड़ा हमको लगता है कि अभी तैयार नहीं है, बट होपफुली हो भी सकता है तैयार हो. आई एम रॉन्ग, बट क्योंकि जब आप ऑनलाइन प्रोडक्ट्स देखोगे ना महुआ पे, एंड यू
हम्म।
बाय फ्रॉम 15 or 20, देयर आर लॉट ऑफ कंपनीज, नॉट ऑल आर मेकिंग वेरियस टाइप ऑफ प्रोडक्ट्स, बट फूड ग्रेड महुआ बहुत बेच रहे हैं, महुआ लड्डू बहुत बेच रहे हैं. तो आप
हम्म।
जब सभी कंपनियों को मंगाओगे तो 2 या 3 में आपको थोड़ा सा लगेगा कि यार थोड़ा सा और बेटर होना
हो
चाहिए.
सकता है।
नॉट सेइंग आवर
हाँ।
प्रोडक्ट इज वर्ल्ड क्लास, हमारे प्रोडक्ट में भी बहुत लोगों को टेस्ट अच्छा नहीं लगेगा, बट वी
जी।
डू ट्राई टू इम्प्रूव. तो ऐसे प्रोडक्ट यदि कोई महुआ को सुन के खरीदेगा और उसका अगर भरोसा टूटेगा, तो वो हमारे
हाँ।
लिए भी नुकसान में मतलब जाने वाली चीज है. तो
अच्छा।
पैरेलली, हाँ या श्योर.
नो, सॉरी। एक और चीज अब अचानक से मेरे दिमाग में आई थी, मुझे ये चीज पूछना था। हमने टेस्ट और इन सारी चीजों के ऊपर तो बात की, महुआ के फ्रेग्रेंस से रिलेटेड भी कुछ प्रोडक्ट्स डेवलप हुए हैं क्या?
फ्रेग्रेंस से रिलेटेड देखो, 2 चीजों पे इसमें है कि जो फ्रूट का फ्रेग्रेंस होता है,
हम्म।
वो हमने काफी वाइड स्टडी की, मतलब 2000 लोगों के साथ में. सो खाली 2-4-5% को उनका फ्रेग्रेंस थोड़ा सा नॉन,
अपील किया।
हाँ नहीं मतलब ऑफ द चार्ट लगा, बाकी
ओके।
एक्सेप्ट कर रहे थे. सो
अच्छा।
इसमें 2 चीज हैं कि कई लोगों ने इसके फ्रेग्रेंस को दबाने की भी कोशिश की है, फ्लेवर को
हम्म।
हटाने की भी कोशिश की है, जस्ट टू
हम्म।
यूज एज ए महुआ एज ए नेचुरल स्वीटनर.
यस, यस।
हम
हाँ।
थोड़े से उसके अगेंस्ट है, बिकॉज महुआ इज नॉट अ स्वीटनर, इट्स अ मेडिसिन इन इटसेल्फ.
हाँ।
वो सेलिंग इट एज ए जस्ट स्टीविया और प्लेन स्वीटनर, आई मीन वो थोड़ा सा, आई मीन इट इट इज
कॉम्प्लिकेटेड है।
नॉट जस्टिफिकेशन विद द महुआ.
ethical नहीं है. हाँ.
We do are experimenting with it, but I am
हाँ.
not actively involved. Team में है एक दो लोग, new
जी.
students are there, but
जी.
it can be done. There are few papers जिसमें उन्होंने bentonite clay, activated charcoal use किया था. हम zeolites use कर रहे हैं because nano technology थोड़ा सा easy बना देता है चीजों को. But उससे क्या हो रहा है ना कि जो organic components हैं जिनके कारण खुशबू आता है, तो जो हमने उनका body पे effect देखा, तो वो सिर्फ एक एज ए स्वीटनर ही बन जाता है. आई मीन इट्स नॉट इम्प्रूविंग योर एनर्जी लेवल, योर ब्लड ऑक्सीजन
Okay.
लेवल, योर
Okay.
आयरन लेवल. सो वो कहीं ना कहीं एक बैलेंस बिठाने वाली चीज है कि यार स्टीविया हम सब में डाल लेते हैं. मैं बोलता हूँ भाई आप इसको चाय में नहीं पी सकते तो नहीं पी सकते, आप सादा पी लो, शहद के जैसे ले लो, दूध में ले लो. ब्लैक कॉफी ब्लेंड्स वेल, महुआ कॉन्सेंट्रेट
Yes. हाँ.
बट एज ए स्वीटनर मैं थोड़ा सा पर्सनली उसके अगेंस्ट रहा हूँ. सो उस पर लिमिटेड काम हुआ, बट इट कैन बी डन. आई मीन इवन in any of the ITs or food tech departments that can be done, because in 1780s there was a very good paper regarding removing fragrance and color of mahua from mahua juice. So I mean when it was done like 30-40 years back, abhi aaram se ho jayega. It's not an issue. Yeah.
ठीक है.
Okay.
Sorry, Om, I probably extended my question when I was
No,
looking at you.
that's okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Any last questions? We have taken more than an hour, 10 minutes of Samarth's time. So I'm apologetic, but still.
I just wanted to ask and add a few things here.
Sure, Harshita.
I'm not able to start my camera, but that's fine. So,
Yeah, that's
hi
fine.
everybody. My name is Harshita. I have been working with Mahua and other produce from the forest for the past 10 years. And my job is to do food pop-ups, wild food pop-ups at restaurants, at hotels. I've also worked with Wild Harvest that you were mentioning a while ago. So first of all, I just wanted to put in an observation as to the taste of the flower and its acceptance by the people that I serve. There, like you were mentioning that there is a lack of awareness about the flower as about the tree in general, and this kind of gives it a very unique proposition in the mind of a person who's coming to a 5-star, who's looking to try new things. And most of the times, apart from the flavor, which is very unique, the whole story behind Mahua is also very interesting to a lot of people who are trying it for the first time. So I think that apart from the taste of it, the story of the flower or the tree is also worth mentioning on whatever promotions or whatever ways we are trying to bring it to the markets. Because just because it's coming from communities or it's going to help them, sustainable ways or things like these might make somebody buy it for one or twice maybe. But if it is the story, if people connect with it, if they see the benefits, the nutritional side of it, I think there is a better chance of a repeat purchase on that front. My question was that what other ingredients from the forests have you identified as, say, superfoods or nutritionally rich, or in comparison to things that we are getting from other countries right now, or these could be better positioned in the same categories? And the other question was that have you thought of working along with these other organizations that you were mentioning for research, for the scientific research purposes? Because I know other brands that have already done work on this front, or the scientific side of it, where they've done the nutritional checks and also developed products which are similar in the sense, like the rab and all these being very standard products for anybody who's starting with Mahua as an ingredient, including chocolates. Like you said, you're trying to develop one. So one brand has already done it. Have you thought to cut costs and come to a standardized conclusion on these fronts with other brands or other organizations?
Your first question, I would like to say कि what we are working on. Is there a disturbance from my side? Am I audible? Hello?
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
you
fine.
are.
We'll go through Harshita's answer first and then come back to you.
Yeah. So the thing is, what our working model is like, whatever produce is available in our region only. That only we are exploring. So other thing that we feel that can go with Mahua, or like, I mean, that as a superfood is the chironji. We are habitual of eating chironji, but making it readily available for every age group is not done yet. So chironji is one of the thing that we are looking other than Mahua, because other than chironji, there is nothing that new in our region, and we are exploring whatever is available in our region only for now. And for the second part, we are working. Look, getting a nutrition data is a very simple thing, but going for a research paper that has wider acceptability, especially in from scientific point of view also. Look, what I feel कि लोग study इसीलिए नहीं कर रहे हैं because they don't know such things exist, कि ऐसा है. न्यूट्रिशन डेटा हम लेके आते हैं, अच्छी लैब से लेके आते हैं, बट जनरली लोगों के पास वो अवेलेबल नहीं होता. दोज हु आर इंटरेस्टेड इन मेकिंग it as a part of their study or studying Mahua or any other such commodity in depth. So that's why I mentioned कि institutes के साथ तो हमने collaboration किया है, research institute. But for other companies, we think that we are still very young and we are still finding our own roots, or we are very new. Badi companies say, like, there are very good companies than us who are working in Mahua and bigger than us. हम अभी काफी नए हैं, and also we are operating from a place where connectivity is the biggest challenge, but it's a very good thing for us also क्योंकि time हमको काफी बचता है from being from Jashpur. बट कनेक्टिविटी का पार्ट हो या अदर बड़े कोलेबोरेशंस के पार्ट हो, दैट नीड्स ट्रैवल, दैट नीड्स good setup at our end. What we feel that we are still evolving. अभी थोड़ा समय हमको और लगेगा. Then only we can go for such type of collaborations. Yeah, and what you said for the storytelling part, that is the best part. I mean, that we are also doing in whatever we have started with one or two ads or whatever the things we are using. Story is very important. Until unless people they connect, they see from where it's coming. And when you have quality, when you have clean ingredients, when you have good taste, backed with the story, आई मीन अच्छा, काफी अच्छा कॉम्बिनेशन बनता है. एंड वी जैसा आपने कहा कि रिपीट परचेस के चांस होते हैं अच्छे, एंड वी आर सीइंग दैट, क्योंकि स्टोरी जब तक नहीं रहेगी, इट जस्ट बी ऐसा लगता है कि कोई और नॉर्मल सा प्रोडक्ट अपन सेल कर रहे हैं. या
Samarth Tirthankar, I don't know, Samarth, do you have more time?
Yeah, it's fine. I can, if there are questions, I mean, if it's okay to you.
Yeah, sure. Tirthankar, do you have a question still? Okay, I'm not too sure. I think I'll anyway, if there are any more questions on our social media, etc., we'll aggregate them and send them to you later.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for now 80 minutes. I think the 1.5 months of planning this call was so totally worth it. I'll reach out to you more before we publish the study.
Sure.
And thank you to the audience. Thank you so much.
Thank you. 80 minutes to हो गए, but because it was Mahua and discussion was very free sort of thing, so it was like we are just discussing. So, and maybe कहीं पे I maybe have said a few things wrong. So if you find something, just let me know. And whatever I said was from my point of view, and never I mentioned, no offense to anyone, those who are working in the field. When I mentioned that we are not ready, so it should not look offensive. I mean, it's a collective part की हमारी responsibility, because Mahua is very big thing. I mean, जो हम अभी देख रहे हैं, 2% भी नहीं है, जितना बड़ा ये बन सकता है. So we should, I mean, when I said that, it was from that point of view. Yeah. Okay. धन्यवाद.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Okay.